Let's get ready to riot!
I'm Adam Taxon with a Let's Get Ready to Riot update. A lot of news will certainly be generated the next few days or however long related to a St. Louis County, Missouri grand jury's imminent decision on whether to indict Officer Darren Wilson related to the shooting of Michael Brown, the gentle giant, aspiring rapper, incoming college student or something, cigar aficionado, who was taken from this world when he was just minding his own business. The best source for all this information... Thanks, man. Oh, can you open it? I don't have an opener here. The best source for all this information, bar none, is Jim Hoft, a.k.a. the Gateway Pundit at thegatewaypundit.com. But many of you just don't like reading. So I guess there is a market for YouTube videos like this one without the usual big media bias. Here is what is written on this subject at the Gateway Pundit. Again, go to the website. You can even turn this off if you want. It's better to read that, but if you want to watch me, that's cool too. Here's what it says. St. Louis area schools and townships are warning residents to stock up on water, not beer. Thank you. Stock up on water, food, and medicine before the Mike Brown court decision. Local officials fear a violent response to the St. Louis County Court's decision. Over 36 businesses were vandalized and looted during the Ferguson rioting in August. The city of Berkeley, not to be confused with the city of Berkeley, which is out in California, the city of Berkeley near Ferguson released this statement warning residents to stock up on water, food, and medicine before the verdict is announced. It's late, you know, long day. Make sure you have plenty of bottled water, a gallon per person per day, and non-perishable, easy to access food in case you cannot get to a local store for a few days. Scroll down. Meanwhile, PCS School in St. Louis City, which is different from St. Louis County, sent home this warning to parents. Teachers will help students catch up with their homework if parents decide to keep their kids at home following the court's decision. Feel free to hit pause and go read this for yourself at thegatewaypundit.com, and that's probably the last plug I'm going to put in for the website. Also in there, St. Louis County sought a federal bailout for the more than 100 businesses harmed during the Ferguson rioting and looting. A little more here. St. Louis area churches also urged people to stock up on medication, food, water, working flashlights, batteries, and also to keep vehicles filled with fuel in case access to basic services and necessities are interrupted due to unrest. All right, now let's get to the fun. As you know, with these kinds of things, the comments section, of course, is the place to be if you want the really fun, lively, energetic statements of opinion. And we know that Eric Holder, of course, said we were a nation of cowards when it came to discussing race, but probably not the people in the comments section here, because they're not shy about it. Anyhow, I will do my part to overcome the problem Eric Holder, the brave man, talks about. I'll do my part to change that and provide a few of those comments here. Ooh, this is a strong one to start with. Mr. Natural writes, I guess that Negroes are now officially classified as a natural disaster. To which T-Sacker responded, well, you know, the esteemed Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee was upset that there were not more African American names for hurricanes. I'd say this evens things out. The poster known as Raul Hernandez writes, most black slaves were sold into slavery by their own rulers. Somehow this fact is conveniently omitted. And to that, Monster responds, even better, the slaves sold out by the African princes were either members of conquered tribes or outright criminals and malcontents they wanted nothing to do with. Sounds like the Muriel Boatlift and Scarface, etc. Malcontents they wanted nothing to do with. In essence, they passed the dross off onto dumb old Whitey. But we have equal time here. Someone who goes by Tony Mitchell has some very strong opinions the other way. in the comments section. Here goes, and I have a few of these. Blacks hijack people's culture? No. White folks do that. Whites didn't live in ancient Egypt, but somehow the pharaohs turned white. The Israelites were black. Obviously. Everyone knows that. King Tut wasn't white. But let's get back to this culture thing. You know where rock and roll music came from. You stole it from blacks. And then you left them out of it. You're trying to do the same thing with rap music, with Macklemore and Iggy. You just can't participate. You have to take over and dominate. Who was exploiting who? Technically, Tony Mitchell. It should be who was exploiting whom, but I digress. Tony Mitchell also added this comment. Monkeys? At least when our hair gets wet, it doesn't smell like a rodent. Monkeys? If anything, you more resemble monkeys with your thin lips and all. It's folks like you that make the world such a messed up place. And Mr. Mitchell also provides this further enlightenment about the current unfolding situation. Have you ever noticed that the Asians weren't subject to state-sanctioned racism known as Jim Crow laws? Have you noticed that the Asians weren't robbed of their language and religion? Have you noticed that the Asians weren't attacked by dogs and fire hoses in the 60s? Have you noticed that the Asians weren't the slaves of white folks? Have you noticed that you need to look in the mirror to find out the current black situation? You'll admit to past wrongs, slavery, but you won't admit to current wrongs. Current wrongs, which he is not exactly specifying there beyond, I guess, Macklemore, who is a current wrong. Certainly, but he is a current wrong. Anyhow, back to what he says. Instead, you deflect and blame the victims of the global white supremacy and domination. Well, that is all for now for this Let's Get Ready to Riot update. I'm Adam Taxon. Peace out.